there we go. Accordingly, there's only, is this working? Yeah, it is. Okay. It is working. Not sure if, really like sent out all the notifications it had to or it was supposed to or not, but, okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking for specifically the comment that I want to read. It's here. Okay, so I'm actually gonna wait a little bit till some people get here rather than go into it immediately, given that nobody's here. It kind of feels like it didn't work properly, like notifications didn't go out or whatever. Tampa Bay is playing Buffalo tonight on Thursday Night Football. Is there anybody besides me here? No, it's just me. Well, you know, how life is sometimes. Okay, so just me, huh? Well, I have a feeling this video didn't set properly in some regard. Oh no, there's one person here. Good. Um, Hi Misty Doy. I am fine. How are you today? I hope you're feeling well. I hope you have the emotions of happiness, joy, amusement, and pleasure, all of which are emotions. So I do want to talk more about my card, but I'm waiting for a few more people to arrive before I start discussing it, so I don't just have to repeat it all over again when people get here. You obviously got notification, so somebody gets some people are notified at least. It's better than no people being notified. Okay. Give this lady a little poking. Firecrotch is her name. And maybe this bong will work better. So I made a live stream the other day called Rationality, Claims and Feelings, something like that. And in it, I was responding specifically to Dullus's claim that Mike Hart was engaging the way he was in order to work the algorithm, basically, like to get impacts like likes and views and stuff like that. An exception that a comment that I took exception with or disagreed with. Um, and then also, that boy Klaus said, Uh, Dulles is right. Mike is playing for the algorithm. So the point of that last video, rationality, feelings, and claims, was that I disagreed with that concept. I didn't think that Mike Hart was doing that. I don't think he was, as that boy Klaus says, Mike is, playing for the algorithm. I don't think that's the case. I didn't think that was the case before, and I still don't think. I even more now don't think that's the case. So I wanted to read a couple of comments from somebody who has interesting things to say about Mike Hart. But of course, I want to repeat the caveat that these are comments left by some person. There's no way we can know for sure if what they say is true, but their claims, it resonates as true to me, and it certainly resonates as relevant and interesting. So, um, obviously, this is one. Assuming this person is who they claim to be, this is one half of the story only. But caveats aside, I will now read the comments. So the first one I'll read is here. This was on the rationality, feelings, and claims video. It's from a commenter called KT Whimsy 6946. I lived with Mike for 6 years, and let me tell you, his reaction to any slight perceived criticism, or really just a disagreement to his opinion, which he often refers to as the truth, is just like what you're experiencing here. He takes it as a declaration of war and responds with rage. He's not acting this way for likes or to make an impact. This is the main thing I wanted to say is I was right about making that claim, that he's not doing it for to game the algorithm or something, or to play the algorithm. If my experience is any indicator, he's likely going on uncontrollable 3 to 4 hour rants to whoever will listen and will be stewing on it, the criticism, for quite a long time, and has made you another villain in his life. According to MH, Mike Hart, I was also a villain, a narcissist, an abuser, and an unhealthy INFP, despite trying to make amends and apologize for my share of the dysfunction. The heartfelt apology letter I wrote him was further weaponized against me in a wacky year-long smear campaign. We were engaged for 2+ years and he acted like it was all just a blip. It's exhausting to try and explain the level of crazy making. It's been 4 years and I'm still in therapy. I mean, I'm no picnic, but I'm trying to be. I'm certainly not abusive or narcissistic. If anything, chronic people pleasing is my disease. Suffice to say, when I meet people who constantly insist they are super honest and logical, I now immediately question why they feel the need to say it aloud so often. Thou dost protesteth too much. To which I replied, very interesting comment. Thank you for sharing your story, and I'm sorry you experienced abuse. I was once in an abusive relationship myself, and I know how it wreaks havoc on one's self-concept. Additionally, I would say that I maybe have a tendency to want to defend INFPs. I've noted this before in the past that I think of INFPs, even though they're my supervisor type, I think of them as being kind of defenseless. Like, I don't know if this person's actually an INFP. Obviously, I cannot verify what this person's saying, but it reads as honest and true to me. And everybody can be their own judge. It's public information. The point is, I'm not defaming Mike Hart here. I am reading a comment that somebody left who claims to have had a long relationship with Mike Hart. One thing we can say for sure about Mike Hart that is not very flattering is that he immediately, based on nothing at all, pathologized me as toxic, narcissistic, unhealthy, even though in the initial instance I had not even disagreed with him or slighted him in any way, right? So in general, that does not indicate um, good habits of intellect or engagement. Hi, Beaufet. I'm pretty careful about not doing that myself. And I'm pretty careful in general with the things I say. I've got another comment of this lady's that I'll read in a little bit, okay? At the moment, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. So, as with all the caveats I made here in reading these comments and such, oh, good, it's Norms. Norms is having his cutlets. Look, you guys. I'll show you. It's Norms. It's little Norms. Hi, Norms. Um, Norms is pretty comfortable with me. I think because, you know, I've been giving him seeds since he was very little, probably, you know, like, he's still quite little. When I go pour seeds up there, he just waits till I get right next to him, then he runs away. Then as soon as I move a little bit away, he comes back. So he's like barely scared of me. But the point is, decent people are slow to condemn others. Um, Not necessarily slow to condemn their words or their actions, but they're slow to condemn another person. And pathologization is saying we don't need to pay attention to your words or actions. We can cease to afford you any legitimacy or credit simply based on this label that I'm assigning you: narcissist, toxic, whatever. There are such people. Like, nobody should believe a word that comes out of Meghan Markle's mouth or Jada Pickett Smith's mouth. Both those people are clearly narcissists. You know, I don't really have a big problem with casting such judgment on celebrities who are, you know, obviously I'm not the only person calling Jada Pickett Smith a narcissist. I'm conceding that I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist, that I'm not well positioned to make a diagnosis, but I'm also saying that for for my purposes, for the purposes of my heart, Jada Pickett Smith and Meghan Markle are narcissists. Um, Same with Amber Heard. She's at least BPD. You know, they all have some form of abusive accountability avoidance disorder. You know, that's what I think. But accepting such instances, I am not quick to rush to judgment about about people and pathologize them. Uh, Mostly when I do so, it's because I see the way they're treating their relationship partner, and it makes me go, okay, this person's fucking evil. Because I can sniff that shit out at this point in my life. I can sniff out when somebody's treating their relationship partner in as a subhuman, you know, creating damage where there would otherwise be none, you know. So I don't. I certainly don't. I certainly don't attribute that label to people engaged in critique about things that that, you know. It's like when I'm not when they're not. I don't call people that based on their words, positions, arguments, or anything like that. I correctly only call people that if I think I'm witnessing two people in an abusive relationship, one the abuser and one the abused. Then I will maybe rush to judgment on that because, of course, my judgment doesn't matter on that and whatever. But I certainly don't go around calling YouTubers narcissists because I think that they agreed with somebody who called my community tab a dumpster fire of bad thinking. Like, whether or not I agree with, even if I did agree with that commenter, my opinion about the intellectual legitimacy of somebody else's stuff is not something that anybody should ever um, use as evidence of my toxicity or whatever. There need to be clear, bright lines drawn between how you treat other people in your life and how you deal with arguments that are made publicly, positions that are stated, etc. You know, a civil society requires that we recognize that almost always the other person talking has an equal fundamental legitimacy to us as a person, as a human being, right? So that we can listen to their words and respond to what their words mean and say, rather than saying, you don't get to speak and communicate in the same way that everybody else does. And that's what pathologizing people does. Nevertheless, I will go in and read this other comment. And you can guess where I'm probably going with this is I don't, I suspect Mike Hart is potentially not engaging in relationships with the other people in his life in a healthy way. Granted, I'll continue to repeat these caveats. I have no way of verifying this commenter's accuracy, that they are who they say they are, etc. I'm just using my intuition, which tells me that this person is not making this up, is who they say they are, etc. And given that we already know that Mike Hart is not unwilling to jump to pathologizing people in horribly inappropriate ways, uh, so here's the other comment I wanted to read. I read that one already. I'm trying to find the other one. KT Whimsy. Like, this person has a playlist called NPR. it just has it just has NPR shit on it. And then she's got faves, which starts very intelligently with "Happiness is a Warm Gun." Can't go wrong with that. The lady's got pretty good taste in music. White Stripes, "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You" by Led Zeppelin. It's a long song. She's tolerant of long songs. She's got a 7-minute song, 6-minute song. I'm not tolerant of long songs. She's got Rocky Raccoon on there. Paper Bag by Fiona Apple. She's got some good stuff on here. Blackbird by the Beatles. I don't know who this Jason Mraz fellow is, but she's got Fly Me to the Moon. It's a good song by Sinatra. Um, She's got In My Time of Dying live, Led Zeppelin, 11 minutes and 30 seconds. You gotta be kidding me. I've never put any song that's 11 minutes long on any playlist of mine. It's got Musicology by Prince. I don't know that Prince song. Peggy Lee. I like the fact that she has Peggy Lee on this playlist. Uh-oh. She's got Santana featuring Rob Thomas. Uh-oh. That's not a good thing to have on your playlist. Oh, she's got Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel. That's a good song. She got Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. It's a good song. Rachel likes Talking Heads more than I do. She's not wrong. Neither am I. You know. What else does she have on her faves playlist? Let's see. Nothing that really. I don't see anything here that really makes my panties wet, you know. So okay, let's go back to KT Whimsy. Like more at her page. She's got a playlist called Genius, which is mostly this person Ren, and then a bunch of songs. She's obviously a music listener. She's got Morning Mix. Oops, don't play it. Don't play it. Don't play it. Don't play it. Which is also a playlist of music. And she's got Smithy. Smithy is a playlist about making jewelry. So this person's pretty legit. I mean, how long has this person been around? Let's see. Since 2018. Okay. So this is a 5-year-old YouTube channel. KT Whimsy. She even has a picture of herself on it. So, okay. It's as legit looking as it can possibly be. You can't know for sure that something's legit all the way, but it's as legit as it can possibly appear to be. She replied to somebody else on another video. I'm trying to find that comment right now. Might be here. No, it's not. Where is KT Whimsy's other comment? She replied to somebody else on something. And maybe it was on. Oh, maybe it's not a live. It was on an uploaded video, probably. It could be on My Hart Still Not Getting It. Yes, here it is. It's kind of like a repeat of the previous comment, but there's some other. She's replying to somebody else. She says, as somebody here, Anna Midnight Star says, I stopped following Mike Hart years ago because he started losing his mind and making videos in which he argued with commenters like me to get more followers. It seemed like a silly method at the time, but if he begins arguing with more well-known YouTubers like Talking to Famous People, I can see his strategy clearly. Not a fan of his at all. Okay, well, first of all, this commenter said he started losing his mind, not me. Okay, but this commenter also makes the claim that Dawless made, which is that his fundamental motivation is to get more followers, subs, you know. KT Whimsy replies to Anna Midnight Star by saying, as someone who lived with Mike for 6 years, I can tell you it probably had nothing to do with getting followers. And that's the main reason for this live stream, is to say that I was right about this. It's not motivated by him getting subs, okay? Quote from the comment of KT Whimsy, that's what he was like 90% of the time. He takes any small disagreement or slight criticism as a personal attack and stews over it for months. I feel exhausted just thinking about the insane arguments and 3 hour rants that went in circles. He's not interested in honest discourse or coming to an understanding. He's trying to win the conversation. Anything short of yes, you are 100% correct is usually enough to trigger the rage. I didn't see the video post being referenced, but it definitely sounds like one of his frequent ego injuries if he's throwing around MPD diagnosis. One of the many things I learned from that shit show of a relationship, anyone who has to constantly tell you how honest and logical they are and puts everyone they meet into some bizarre hierarchy with them at the top is likely compensating. It has been 4 years and I still can't bring myself to try dating again. I'm the unhealthy INFP he's made multiple videos about. I'm genuinely worried about him seeing this comment, but stayed silent through his entire smear campaign years ago. And when this video popped up, needless to say, I did a double take. Well, KT Whimsy, you may not be happy about this live stream because I am reading your comments. However, I will say this, Mike Hart, if you got anything to say to anybody, you come at me, man. You come at me. And I will be happy to have a video conference with you if you'd like. Okay? The reason I'm reading these comments is because they validate what I was saying about the fact that it doesn't seem motivated by a desire for impacts on YouTube, right? But I have a long history of not letting people get away with silencing people and stuff. It's just not acceptable to me. If she's concerned about him reading the comment, that makes me want to read the comment for sure in this video and say, if you want to be mad at your ex for telling her story, you can come at me because I'm the one who's telling it online. Okay? And I support her right to tell her side of the story without any kind of negative consequences, no matter how much you may disagree with that side of the story. So what I have to say is, if you want to have a problem with something, have a problem with me reading your ex's comment on this live stream, not with your ex leaving that comment. Okay? So keep in mind, obviously, for everybody, Mike Hart and his ex, assuming she is as she says she is, which I have zero reason to doubt given looking into her channel, it's obviously a real channel. Like, she's got long ass playlists, and she obviously uses YouTube to listen to music just like I do. She's got a picture of herself. The channel's been there since 2018. This is a real person who, there's nothing fishy about this person at all. However, still take it with a grain of salt. I obviously can't verify it by, going to the person's house and saying, are you really? I don't know how I would verify that. Interview their relatives and stuff. Anyhow, nevertheless, I would say that assuming she is, in fact, his ex, she's telling her side of the story, and she should be able to do so without repercussions. Two exes are obviously going to portray things differently, but having been in an abusive relationship myself, having been at the receiving end of the abuse, I can tell you that one of the things that does happen in abusive relationships, and it sounds like KT Whimsy was in one, is that the abusive party takes advantage of reasonable people's reasonableness to try to position it as a he said, she said thing, or a equal responsibility thing, or even that the abused is the one responsible for the problems in the relationship. And the abusive person can, in some instances anyway, do an excellent job of shaping public opinion. There was definitely a camp of people who thought that Kimberly was right, and you were Kimberly's camp, in as my relationship with her broke down, and who thought that I was the problem, or at least half the problem. I was zero of the problem. She had BPD and was abusive. So who is he? Well, he's a guy who decided to, out of nowhere, call me toxic, narcissist, unhealthy. Luca Mullen says they think his self-typing is accurate. INTP. Well, I don't know. He write, as I said in a previous stream, he writes like an NTP, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's an ESTP. Personally, um, there's an NI kind of quality to his stuff, in the sense that, well, put it this way: NI 4 is a lot more likely to jump to conclusions than NI 6. However, genuine pathologies, some sort of personality disorder, I'm not saying he has one, but were he to, or mental illnesses like bipolar mania or something, those can make it very tricky typing people. So, I don't know. We're talking about Mike Hart. There's a little bit of Mike in all of us. Jeremiah Fix says, what? The go-to attack for an INTP about Eric is holding to his own inaccuracies. You mean saying to me Eric is inaccurate in these following ways? That would be what an INTP would do? I mean, I tend to agree with that. My musings are leaning ESTP on him, even though he doesn't seem very TI in his engagement with me. His writing is not that of an ESFP. There's no way an ESFP writes the way he writes. ESTP, I'll believe it. No, Rancor. There are not fine people on both sides of an abusive relationship. There's only a fine person on one side of an abusive relationship. It seems unlikely that the Mike Hart, Hart, is spelled as per the title, on YouTube, is the running backs coach for the University of Michigan. That seems very unlikely to me. Okay? Coaches and shit are, assistant coaches especially, are kept on a tight leash regarding their social media stuff. He seems to be not on a tight leash at all regarding his social media stuff. Has he ever posted anything? I'm gonna have to go to his page. God damn it! I don't want to go to his page. I guess I have to now. Brett the Hitman Hart's brother, by the sound of it. You're leaning more toward an SI 1 or 2 type. Well, I have not looked into enough. I've been diligently avoiding going to his YouTube channel since this whole mess has begun. I've just been reading quotes from the people leaving comments about from his channel, which I trust to be accurate quotes. Um, I'm willing to be corrected if they're inaccurate quotes, but I have no reason to doubt them. Owen died? Who's Owen? Bo Boker Orr. Bo Boker Orr? Give like so we can try to catch something with your meow. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. Try to catch up with your bro. Oh, I see what you're saying. Do a recap or something? All right. I will recap those comments and the gist of my message. The gist of my message here is as follows. I was right when I said, of course it is as follows. I was right when I said that Mike Hart is not behaving as he's behaving as a means of playing the algorithm. So this is the first video this first comment she left was on Mike Hart still not getting it. The second comment she left was on rationality, feelings, and claims. So I'm going to read the first comment first, then I'll read the second comment. KT Whimsy says the following. First of all, the first comment she made was in reply to Anna Midnight Star, who said, I stopped following Mike Hart years ago because he started ellipses making videos in which he argued with commenters like me to get more followers. It seemed like a silly method at the time, but if he begins arguing with more well-known YouTubers, like talking with famous people, I can see his strategy clearly. Not a fan of his at all. All right, so in other words, Anna Morningstar is making the point that Dallas was making, that I was disagreeing with in rationality, feelings, and claims. Namely, that Mike Hart was behaving as he was in order to get subs, likes, whatever, to work the algorithm. KT Whimsy says, in reply to Anna Morningstar, and this comment she left was 14 hours ago, as someone who lived with Mike for 6 years, I can tell you it probably had nothing to do with getting followers. That's what he was like 90% of the time. He takes any small disagreement or slight perceived, in parentheses, criticism as a personal attack and stews over it for months. I feel exhausted just thinking about the insane arguments and 3-hour rants that went in circles. He's not interested in honest discourse or coming to an understanding. He's trying to win the conversation. Anything short of yes, you are 100% correct is usually enough to trigger the rage. I didn't see the video post being referenced, but it definitely sounds like one of his frequent ego injuries if he's throwing around MPD diagnosis. One of the many things I learned from that shit show of a relationship, anyone who has to constantly tell you how honest and logical they are and puts everyone they meet into some bizarre hierarchy with them at the top is likely compensating. It's been 4 years and I still can't bring myself to try dating again. I'm the unhealthy INFP he's made multiple videos about. I'm genuinely worried about him seeing this comment, but stayed silent through his entire smear campaign years ago, and when this video popped up, needless to say, I did a double take. Well, the thing is, KT Whimsy, unfortunately for you, I don't believe in staying silent. I hate silence. I hate it so much. If this is your story, it needs to be told. And you should have no fear of somebody else, doing whatever, saying whatever to suppress your God-given right to tell your side of the story. And now I will read the second comment. This one she left 11 hours ago. She left it as a comment on the video rather than a reply to somebody. I lived with Mike for 6 years, and she left a reply to this, to my reply to her now. So now this is really on topic, okay? She says, I lived with Mike for 6 years, and let me tell you, his reaction to any slight perceived criticism, or really just a disagreement to his opinion, which he often refers to as the truth, is just like what you're experiencing here. He takes it as a declaration of war and responds with rage. He's not acting this way for likes or to make an impact. If my criticism is any indicator, he's likely going on uncontrollable 3 to 4 hour rants to whoever who will listen and will be stewing on it, the criticism for quite a long time, and has made you another villain in his life. According to MH, I was also a villain, a narcissist, an abuser, and an unhealthy INFP. Despite trying to make amends and apologize for my share of the dysfunction, the heartfelt apology letter I wrote him was further weaponized against me in a wacky year-long smear campaign. We were engaged for 2+ years, and he acted like it was all just a blip. It's exhausting to try and explain the level of crazy making. It's been 4 years, and I'm still in therapy. I mean, I'm no picnic, but I'm trying to be. I'm certainly not abusive or narcissistic. If anything, chronic people pleasing is my disease. Suffice to say, when I meet people who constantly insist they are super honest and logical, I now immediately question why they feel the need to say it aloud so often. That doth protest too much. First of all, Casey, let me just tell you, I am super honest and logical. I don't have to tell people it all the time, but it is true about me, and I do say it sometimes. That does not make me in any way like Mike Hart. But because, you know, I'm only trying to be reasonable. Anyway, I said in reply to her, very interesting comment. Thank you for sharing your story, and I'm so sorry you experienced abuse. I was once in an abusive relationship myself, and I know how it wreaks havoc on one's self-concept. She replied, I appreciate your sincere reply. I have not seen this before right now. This is all new news right now. I appreciate your sincere reply. I was hesitant to leave a comment initially. I deleted one I had made prior just because, above all else, I've been enjoying my peace these past few years and don't like to stir the pot. Wow, you picked the wrong place to leave a comment, KT Whimsy. If Mike ever sees these comments, there will certainly be blowback. Well, fuck him. I mean, as I said, Mike Hart, if you want blowback, you blow back at me. Okay, I'm the one reading these comments on the internet. She just left comments telling her side of the story. If you want to attack me, you attack me all you want. Come and get it, motherfucker. You know, it's like we can have a video conference and talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm not afraid of you at all. But I still have an overall feeling of injustice around the whole thing, which is why I'm reading this shit. Because justice is important. Your side of the story is important. The fact that, according to you, and I believe you, he engaged in a smear campaign in which he called you a narcissist and all kinds of shit. Well, why wouldn't I believe you? He called me a narcissist when I didn't even do a goddamn thing. I didn't even actually criticize him. So, I mean, it certainly is consistent with the evidence I have. I'm an SI type. Maybe I'm jumping at my own personal experience as confirmation too quickly. Maybe that's inadequate to meaningfully confirm this theory. But, you know, I continually add caveats appropriately so nobody can accuse me of any kind of defamation. I'm empowering someone to tell her side of the story. And I've looked at her channel. She seems to definitely be who she is. Quote, but I still have an overall feeling of injustice around the whole thing, being unable to defend myself against any of the accusations he threw out over the years, many of which were not only untrue, but projections of his own behavior. That's what those fuckers do, I tell you. Anyway, which is unsettling and annoying AF. Obviously, anything I say is going to be biased, but the fact is, putting in these caveats that you put in, like obviously anything I say is going to be biased, and I can already tell you're still blaming yourself too much for this shit, in my opinion. Okay, this is again my opinion. I wasn't there in that relationship. I don't know exactly what happened, but this person sounds reasonable. But despite unfollowing him a long time ago, both my kids and myself still get recommended videos post from his channel occasionally. It's like a morbid fascination I can't look away from. It's honestly a little validating to see he interacts with everyone the same way he did with us. And sometimes I guess I need a reminder that it wasn't just all in my head. Yeah, well, it wasn't all in your head. Like, Rachel and I both have that same kind of, we're recovering from the damage done to our self concepts by being in relationships with somebody toxic. Here's a funny tidbit example of the lunacy that has nothing to do with me. No one else could know this unless you were acquainted IRL. But he once made a video about bums who live in their mom's basement in their 30s from a room in his mom's basement. And Kim Topology 4257, a different person, chimes in. I think he is an SE Dom, not an INTP. He isn't ideating in his videos. And I put in reply, yeah, my musings are leaning SETI. Of course, I can't know without actually typing someone, but as I said, my musings lean. So, obviously, to the extent that we're dealing with some kind of, yeah, she seems cool, right? Well, I went to her channel too, and it's like she's got multiple long playlists of music. She's got some good stuff on there. She's got some Beatles. She's got Fiona Apple. I forget all the ones that I said before that were good, but she's got quite a few good songs on her. Pretty good taste in music. My phone. She was talking about how YouTube still recommends my Hart's shit to her. Um, well, like this morning, when I was starting to live stream, I noticed what the phone had like on my feed, because the phone works differently than the computer. It's like when I open YouTube, it just takes me to this feed of stuff that's recommended. Like, so one thing's like playing but muted in the background when I open it up. That thing was Club ENTP, who made a video that kind of had a similarity to a title I made recently. My video recently that was titled "Rationality, Claims, and Feelings." His video was titled something like, his live stream was titled something like "Feelings, Love, Sex, and Anger" or something. At Talking with Famous People, Boba has informed us your admirer's new video. Huh. Well, anyway, it sounds like maybe he was inspired by my title, which is totally fine. I'm not critiquing it. Seems like it possibly. Let me look up and see what I've missed so far. Mike's on his way to Mariposa. Hopefully not. I hope today's going to be a good day and I don't have to use my AK. He didn't exactly even talk shit. Well, I guess he did talk shit, but um, that's not why I made this video today. As far as I was concerned, the whole matter was done with until I received these very interesting comments from his ex, which made me want to make sure that her story was told, not just his take on it, right? So especially when she indicated that the emotions, love, sex, hate, part 2 of 4 in the self course. Oh, how incredibly helpful. Sex is, of course, not an emotion, but that's fine. I don't know if he's joking around or if he's serious about being. Kiss, marry, avoid. Club ENTP, Melissa talks, Mike Hart. Oh boy. Um, well, I've stated already directly here. Mike Hart, if you want to come after somebody, come after me. She just left comments on my video. I'm the one who's reading them aloud on the internet without her consent. So, come after me. And I would hope that it sounds like he's a very fighty guy. I'm assuming he's not guilty of extreme cowardice. So that if he feels the need to attack somebody, he can attack somebody like me who can defend himself, right? If not, I would strongly encourage KT Lindsay to leave additional comments indicating that so that I can read those comments aloud as well. He wants to bully her with the fact that he has a platform on YouTube. Well, she has a bigger platform on YouTube. Me. So let him be a man and deal with me directly if he wants to. Because I don't take kindly to bullies. I'm the bully buster. And I do it without becoming the monster that I'm trying to chase, right? I'm not looking to bully Mike Hart. I'm looking to resolve something she said in one of those comments. She still feels a lot of injustice about the whole thing. So that matters a lot more than, what Mike Hart's going to do right now, right? What matters is that the record be set straight, that both sides of the story be told, that that he not be allowed to control the narrative unilaterally in ways that are not fair and or respectful of the truth. I don't know exactly what the truth is, but I believe her. Thus, her story needs to be told, whether she wants it or not. Remember, I'm bipolar. She left a comment on my channel. Anybody who leaves a comment should know I might read it out loud. That's just all there is to it. I'm Eric. I do shit like that. The key thing about being right, just, true, and honest and stuff is that you have a genuine willingness to be held accountable for your mistakes and accordingly a cautiousness in your language because you don't want to have to correct yourself. You don't have to issue an apology or a my bad for saying something that you shouldn't have said or for rushing to judgment or whatever, right? So it's like when she talks about this guy claiming all the time that he's right and true and just and honest or whatever, and then I see him rushing to judgment in the fashion he did against with me, well, those things should not ever go together, right? The reason I can claim to be right and just and true and honest is because I am right and just and true and honest. And accordingly, I don't rush to judgment. You might say I'm rushing to judgment about Mike Hart here. No, I absolutely am not. You can make your own determinations. I'm telling the side of the story of a person I genuinely believe to be the X and who I genuinely believe to be telling the truth as she understands it. I could be wrong, but I'm entitled to evaluate the character of testimony on my own metrics. And so, is this something that I should get involved in? Yeah, absolutely. Well, why, Eric? What gives you the right? See, that's comments on my channel. That's what gives me the right. But I mean, you don't know. You don't know what happened to them. I'm not claiming to know. I'm claiming to read comments and believe somebody. So you can throw all the critiques you want my way, Mike Hart. You can come try to tell your side of the story. I have a feeling you'll get frustrated, get so angry that everyone will see, wow, what a rage monkey. But we'll find out, I guess. All you got to do is send me a day and time. I will put it on my calendar and send you a Google Meet link. We can even live stream it if you want. You can do that now from Google Meet. Live stream on YouTube. Yeah, there's a blue jay around. There's a lot of blue jays. We got so many blue jays that I don't know. You finished the sentence. That if we needed a lot of blue jays, we'd be fine. It is chilly this morning. Brr. Tomorrow is supposed to be, or maybe today, actually, I'm not sure. Tonight, maybe after midnight, it's supposed to be a record low for October. Oh, today's the 20th, tomorrow's the 27th. October 27th is supposed to have a record low for that day. Oh, Squirrely Joe. You're such a Squirrely Joe. See Squirrely Joe? He's eating his cutlets. Squirrels love cutlets. It's their all-time favorite food. So, during Rat Fix, I saw what she said, that she doesn't want him to see her comments, but I want him to see her comments. I want him to hear her comments read aloud. Because it sounds to me like she was in an abusive relationship in which she was gaslit. And I want to counter gaslight, you know? So I want to be the voice of people saying, let's stop engaging in reflexive false equivalency. You know, it happens a lot where people reject the idea that something be determinate about something else. ESFJs, ESTJs especially have a problem with this, with their seventh slot in I, but it's also possibly a problem with eighth slot in I. Regardless, it's like there are individuals who do not engage in healthy relationship habits and who consistently don't, and who consistently do harm to their partners and with behavior that can only be called abuse. One of the worst things that happens in those kinds of relationships is that people create some kind of false equivalency and say, well, both partners are somewhat at fault. And the abusive partner gaslights the abused one into believing, often enough, even that they are mostly at fault. Not me. That didn't happen to me because I have talking with famous people. And when shit happens to me that I think is unjust, I come and talk about it on the internet and I get feedback, etc. And there were plenty of people who were saying, and I wasn't listening to them because I was trying to be a good relationship partner, were saying that Kimberly was the problem, that she was treating me awful, etc. I was trying to be a good relationship partner. I respect the boat. Once you decide to get into a long-term relationship with somebody, you're in a boat with them. Your teammates, you try to be a good teammate, You don't get out of the boat and leave them in the middle of a lake with just themselves to row this big boat back to shore. So, I wasn't listening to the critics, but they were helping prevent me from being totally gaslit. Being able to talk about everything, bringing it up online, it helped prevent me from being gaslit. And at least it had plenty of people point out that my relationship was not a good relationship. My daughter said right away, like, you guys are terrible for each other, is how she put it. But she shouldn't have put it that way. She should have put it the truth, which is Kimberly's abusive. You're being abused. You need to get out of this relationship. To which I probably would have said, I can take it. I'm tough. I'm going to fix her. She just hasn't met somebody as stubborn as she is yet. Or some other stupid nonsense like that. I would not have recognized that you cannot win in a relationship with somebody who fundamentally has unhealthy relationship habits and is abusing you. They're by nature not playing fair, and they're not going to play fair. You can't model for them good relationship habits and have them change that behavior. It didn't work for me. You can't yell at them and change their behavior. It didn't work for me. So the thing is, I'm somebody who really, really, really believes in the power of words. That my reasonableness, that my correctness, that my words will change people's minds, hearts, opinions, even though I have no evidence of that whatsoever. But I believe in it so strongly. I put in 2 solid years trying to fix this woman's horrible, abusive relationship habits. And I made zero progress. Things just got worse and worse and worse. So the thing is, what that left me, the takeaway from that for me, one of the many takeaways was that never let those fuckers successfully, never be party to those fuckers gaslighting, right? Like Rachel's mom, I was like unsure about her for a long time because she was very good at making things seem, making it seem like she had mostly all good intentions, etc. I didn't get right away how controlling she was and how difficult she was, but I knew enough that I knew all I needed to know to not trust her at all. I knew the way that she had punished Rachel and stuff when she was living at her parents' house, etc. But and that was enough for me to not ever be on her side in full. But she was very good at casting doubt onto, like, well, is she really trying to was she really trying to do well for Rachel? Or, no, she never really was. She was always trying to. She was in collusion with Mercy Medical Center to have her daughter be delegitimized as a human being and be just treated as an ongoing mental patient forever, you know. Um, but the thing is, she did a good job of fooling me for a while, such that I had the jury's out on that question. Now I understand also, though, still, that even though she's a narcissist and really can't be trusted with her own daughter for extended periods of time, because, you know, Rachel's very sensitive to even attempts at TEing her that are not toxic at all. They trigger Rachel a bit. So, but the thing is, what I learned from that is, you know, once she said she was going to disown Rachel, she went back home with me. Then she didn't have any contact with Rachel for a long time, really, until we invited her to the wedding. So I think she recognizes that no matter how fucked up she might be, she'd rather have some contact with her daughter than none. So it's not like they're completely inhuman in all instances. There are varying degrees of toxicity and toxic behavior displayed by varying degrees of damaged people, you know. But I believe it all links to childhood damage. Regardless, what I don't believe in is empowering abusers to control the narrative. I believe in disempowering abusers to control the narrative, and in empowering abused to control the narrative. And in my personal opinion, not substantiated by anything other than comments by KT Whimsy and a few of the things that Mike Hart said about me, I conclude that I believe KT Whimsy and think her story is worth telling. This is not a court of law, so I have no need to have the point proven beyond a reasonable doubt to me to believe something. And I'm not stating that my belief is a factually correct rendering of what happened between those two. I am instead saying that because I believe her testimony, I'm going to read it here on the internet, and should compelling evidence be brought forth to suggest that I was wrong to do so, then I'll consider issuing a correction, saying I was wrong to have read those things, they were inaccurate. But even then, I would say, nevertheless, it really wasn't wrong of me to read them because I issued all the appropriate caveats when I did. I mean, somebody else left a comment on my channel saying that his community tab was a dumpster fire of bad thinking. I replied to that comment. I didn't agree with the person. I just said I've never been to his community tab, and I have noted a couple of odd posts popping up in my feed lately. And I mentioned the multiple choice question that I thought was the poll. You put the hearth. I did heart it, but as I explained in the video, I actually didn't need to heart that one because I replied to it, so it would have gone away anyway. But I hearted it automatically before I decided to reply it because it's the only way to make things go into your comments that you go away from the comments that you haven't replied to default in the comments thing in the back end. He should know this because he's a YouTuber as well. Maybe he replies to everything. I don't know. Anything less than absolute obedience is tyranny to me. That's a fun notion. We really don't know enough about this, though. Much may have happened. Well, I mean, I'm not making any claims about what I know, right? I'm reading a woman's comments out loud about my cart. You know, woman's comments about my cart out loud. I'm saying that I believe her testimony, not that we should treat that testimony as factual. You have to remember, it's like, treat Mia as Mia for what purpose, in what frame, right? It's always that. We should treat this as this for the following purpose. If we were in a court of law, we should not treat these comments as determinate evidence, but we need to get her on the stand to say the same things out loud, and then you can treat that testimony as evidence in court. But we're not in a court of law, so we don't need to apply that standard. And additionally, I'm not presenting these comments as evidence of fact. I'm presenting them as her side of the story and saying that I believe her. Could you please put on your Type Police uniform? I think it would be fitting. Well, let me see. Okay. I just put on this shirt, maybe the hat. What you're going to discover is that I'm a type policeman from New York City. I also have on long sleeves underneath my type police shirt. Now let me get a hat. Okay, here we go. Type policeman Eric here on the scene. And today, I'm not functioning as a type policeman. I'm functioning as a toxicity policeman. There's been a commenter make a claim of toxic behavior in a former relationship partner. And as a cop, I don't need proof beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't incarcerate you for a crime. I just need probable cause to take you to jail temporarily so we get this straightened out in court, you know. So, as a relationship policeman, I'm throwing Mike Hart in the fucking slammer. Okay? Hey, I don't even have any weaponry on me today. I don't even have my billy club. All I have is this little flashlight. So he's gonna have to come peaceably, I think. Then, you know, and go to divorce court and have it straightened out. If divorce court were done properly, it would always attribute blame either equally or to one party in full or in some other percentage, right? Like they would say, party A is meow amount to blame for this relationship failing, and this is why. Every divorce court, they should have just relationship court. You don't even have to be married. If your relationship ends, everybody should be entitled by law to go to relationship court and be judged as to how much they or the other person were at fault for the relationship ending. And whether or not one or more parties in the relationship behave toxically, and then also if that was their nature or prompted by the toxicity of the other person. I did a pretty damn good job of not behaving toxically during my relationship with Kimberly. I was determined, because I'm TI tool, right, to not be a hypocrite and to practice what I preached and be a good relationship partner, trying to model the behavior that I expected. But you know what? It's a complete waste of my fucking time. I'll tell you why. You can't fix broken. You might be able to heal damaged, but you can't fix broken. I have a flashlight, Bofet. It's weaponry if I shine it right in your eyes. Then you can't see for a second. And you're like, the light is so bright. So, okay, let's go outside and smoke a cigarette. I'll change my role from relationship police to outside police. Policing the squirrels as they eat their cutlets. Rachel's going to need to get up pretty soon because we need to go to lunch with our realtor at noon. Rachel, darling? Rachel, my sweet potato?
Hi. Hi.
Hi, darling. We need to leave for lunch in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
30 minutes is the latest.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, we're going with David to lunch.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we have to leave we can leave here as late as 11:30, but
11:30, right.
it's 11 o'clock right now. I figure you probably want half an hour to get ready.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to lunch with our realtor. Just going to lunch with them has made me think about, I've said multiple times, I think buying land up here is a good investment. But what I was thinking was it'd be kind of a crazy big investment / gamble maybe or something. I'm not sure if there'd be much gamble to it or not, but like we could theoretically buy a decent number of acres of land for like $80,000 or something. You're just getting land without any property on it. It's not that expensive. We could then build a house on it and sell it potentially for a substantial profit. It's not impossible. That's what real estate developers do all the time, right? It might be a good way to invest for, like a limited term investment, right? Where you're investing quite a bit into this thing, but the whole thing takes a year, maybe a year and a half, and then you sell it and you get all your money back plus some, right? I'd have to do some TE, but I'm not completely allergic to TE. So, Dollars, the point is you were wrong. Okay, that's what this whole video is all about, is that you all were wrong. And I was right. This is how you do Mike Hart pleasantly. Remember when you left that comment saying you thought he was chasing impacts? And somebody else left like the same comment as you left, on a different video? Well, his ex-girlfriend came on the comments on our Super Juicy. You want some hot goss? You want some super juicy goss? Should I read the comments again? Any tips on developing SE for an INFJ? Don't. How's that? Like maybe try to get your SE outside more. A little bit more exercise, hiking kind of things, a little less buying shit. Probably good for you. Tips for developing SE on INFJ: spirituality, volunteering, Adderall. And the first two are optional. So, there you go. Lexicon to Artist really answered the question beautifully, I think. I wonder if the neighbors are going to wonder why I'm dressed in a police outfit. I've mentioned it before, but, I made up with the neighbors. So I'm glad about that. I felt really bad about having messed up my relationship with them. It's like, see, this is somebody who can acknowledge when they're at fault. Obviously, I screwed up that night, and I regret it a lot. I spend my time getting madder and madder at the neighbors when I'm the one who screwed up, right? What did I do to piss off the neighbors? I accidentally bulldozed over their house. I was driving a bulldozer. I wasn't paying attention, and I just accidentally bulldozed over their whole house. And to make matters worse, later that day I was driving a steamroller carelessly. I met, and I accidentally steamrolled over the remnants of their house, destroying all their possessions inside. So, needless to say, they were a little miffed with me. Even though I apologized. Say, hey, I'm sorry. It was an accident. You guys had insurance, right? No, I just was tripping balls one night and yelled at them in like the middle of the night. Because they said something, I thought they were talking about me, but they weren't even talking about me. And I was like crazy. So I was just completely out of my mind. Not my finest moment, but better than bulldozing and then steamrolling their house. I wanted to see how flat I could get it. I don't like it when things are flat. Do you also like it when things are flat? I hope so. So, Dallas. Anyway. You stand corrected. I think he just does it because he's easily made very angry. Not because he's looking to accomplish certain kinds of outcomes. I used to be made easily angry too. I'm much less easy to anger than I used to be. I respond to things much better than I used to. I guess it has something to do with, like, I don't know, having a good life and being happy. It's better than having a bad life and being unhappy. It's at least 10% better. Maybe more. I'm not good at measuring emotions. Right now, Dallas is feeling like, boy, that's the last time I'd be wrong around Derek. I'm just kidding, Dallas. That's just a comedic frame I'm using here for this whole thing. I don't actually. You're my supervisor. I already am feeling like, am I doing okay, Soup? That's just the comedic frame. The actual truth is, I just found the comments really interesting. And when she said she's afraid of him seeing these comments, I thought, well, he needs to see these comments. He needs to hear them spoken about. Because I don't approve of people making other people afraid to express themselves. It's what Melissa Talks tried to do to me. It's what Michelle Shock tried to do to me. Fuck that noise. No. I don't like anybody doing it to me, and I don't want anybody to do it to anybody else either. Yes, correct, fellas. You've been pulled over for misjudging intent. That's right. Fortunately, the jail for that is very cushy. Basically, it's just you get to go home, but I give you a muffin. Well, the truth is worse. Yes, it's not even in a way. It's definitely worse. But what's worse than the truth is the truth being silenced. Eric ain't having that. I'm gonna get. Can you guys hear the Beatles song in the background? I might get copyrighted. I asked Rachel to close the door. Hey, Rachel! Can you close the door? I don't want to get copyrighted for the Beatles. Okay. There. I didn't say it looks like BPD nonsense. I said it sounds. I believe her testimony, and this guy sounds like he engages in toxic relationship habits. I'm not diagnosing him with anything in particular. Why people engage in toxic relationship habits, people have various names for that. Whether or not those various names are even necessary is unclear because, I mean, toxic is as toxic does, you know? But To repeat all the caveats, I'm just saying I believe your testimony, and I'm entitled to do that. This hat's kind of cool. I could wear this hat to lunch. Should ever be like, what's up with your hat, Eric? It fits beautifully. It's surprisingly, it fits perfectly, this hat. It's like a costume hat, you know, but it's like, meow, do you want me to watch you eat again? All right. Come on, let's go watch the cat eat while we're just getting ready. And then I gotta put on deodorant because I stink. I stink like Eric. I smell strongly of Eric's armpits. Oops, sorry. Guys, try not to fall over. If you stand up straight, that won't happen. Let us give this cat a pat. He'll enjoy it lots, I bet. I can pet him right now with my hand. And I see that he is eating sand. Like a good, very good, good kitty cat. Yes, he is that. And the sound of eating. Oh, yes. What a good kitty you are. Are you trying to win the Good Kitty of the Year award again? You already won it last year. He's a good kitty. Eric should do ASMR. I will. I will do ASMR. Here we go. You ready? Tender is the night because it's moist with tenderness and intimacy. If you love intimacy and tenderness, you're going to enjoy my new novel, Intimate Moments of Tenderness. How is that? Is that okay? Did you feel the tenderness? Intimate Moments with Eric. Look at my ear. Just go ahead and look right inside my ear. I think what you're going to see there is a whole nother universe that you never even dreamed of. I'm a man who keeps a universe in each ear. That's how tall I am. I may look regular size on camera, but I'm actually 140 feet tall. Which is pretty tall. Not that tall. Not as tall as, like, I don't know, the Empire State Building. But still pretty tall. Shows you how tall these roofs are. I can touch the ceiling easily enough without getting my tiptoes or anything. Whoop. Don't fall over, I said. You guys aren't listening. Yeah, I easily touch the ceiling. I'm not even standing all the way up straight, you know. So we don't really have very tall ceilings. Over here, it's even lower. Look. Over here. It's just this much room between my head and this top. So this is probably like 7 feet right here. This is probably 8 feet, I guess. I don't know. I could measure it, but I'm not sure what the information, what good the information would do, but sure, why not? Let's measure it. Come on, toe. Okay, it is what does that say? I need my glasses. I can't read anything. Maybe if I here's a magnifying glass. Yeah, it's 8 feet. It's 8 feet, and I bet the ceiling's in here the same. Yeah, it's 8 feet. That's not very tall ceilings. But it's tall in here. I definitely can't touch the ceiling in here. Not even close. I can only reach here. I can't even reach that part at all, let alone the ceiling. You have to get a swisher thing on a long stick to get that. Although I don't remember how I got up there. I got up there before the desk and stuff with a vacuum, I guess. I don't know if I came across. I've also vacuumed the top of this fan by standing up here and vacuuming it. So good for me. Now let's go put on deodorant. Because we've got to leave in 15 minutes for lunch. And I'm glad I got Rachel up because she was just snoozing away. Had completely forgotten about lunch. Where's my deodorant? Where did it go? Oh, that's right. I ran out of deodorant and I threw it away. And we have to get more deodorant. Well, I'm going to use Secret. I know it's made for a woman, but apparently it's strong enough for a man. I don't think they say that enough. I don't think they say that anymore in the commercials. Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. They used to say that in commercials for Secret. But I think now they think, it's not going to play very well because it's like, what, are men stronger than women or something? Nobody's stronger than women. I'm a very strong woman. Okay, enough being strong women all the time. It just sounds dorky. I mean, I'm not opposed to your strength. It's like, okay, can you please be a little more, cool? Less dorky. Hey, I don't know if you guys are aware of this yet, but there's that thing called breast cancer. I recently learned about it because somebody was wearing a pink ribbon and I was like, what's that about? And they said breast cancer, and I'm like, breasts can get cancer? Wow. So I just want to be a part of raising awareness for that, okay? If you're not yet aware of breast cancer, please be aware. Cancers can occur in breasts. Now that I've done my public service for the day, I wonder if I should change clothes. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hazel, if you prefer. Your eyes are hazel? I had an Aunt Hazel. Great aunt. She was really my great aunt. I had great aunts and uncles. I didn't have any. I have only one actual aunt. But what I'm getting at here, my great aunts had cool names. Yeah, my grandma was named Gladys. I had an Aunt Hazel, an Aunt Fern, an Aunt Muriel, Aunt Ellie, which her name was Ella May, actually, Ellie May. But the boys all had boring names. Robert, Larry, and Bobby. There's a Robert and a Bobby. I guess they say, oh, yeah. We already used Robert and Larry. What other names are there? I call him Bobby. Like, you know, if you have two boys, you shouldn't name one of them Robert and one of them Bobby. That's silly. I wonder what the stillborn baby was named. I'm going to go with Stuart. Stillborn Stuart, they called him. Anyway, maybe they named the stillborn one Rob. Let's go with that. There was Bobby, Robert. There's also stillborn Rob. Larry. See, you don't meet a lot of Larrys, you know? How often do you meet a Larry when you go out in the world? When people have a name tag on. You ever see a name tag that says Larry? I don't. I never do. You also don't see a lot of Harrys. Even though there's Prince Harry. Harry Styles. But that's the only ones I can think of. I'm going to wear my spider shirt today. And of course I'll need a jacket because it's chilly out. I think I'll wear this one. This black jacket. Well, there's a receiver for Arizona, maybe? Washington? I'm not sure who he plays for. His name's Money Parks. And Money's a pretty good first name, but I wish he had been named Amusement. That would be an even better first name. Okay, damn it. I'm trying to untie the wrong end. What am I doing? Don't be a dum-dum, Eric. Untie this end. Like this. There. Here we go. Now I've got glasses. And this is a good jacket to wear glasses with because there's a hole somewhere, isn't there? Up here? No? Oh, yes, there is. Right here. That's what I thought. So, I'll tie this to this as premier. And you will discover a wonderful time. It's had by all. Okay. Now, I just put those right there as premier. There we go. Now I'm not going to lose my glasses. Good job, Eric. All right. I put on deodorant. I've got my glasses. I've got cigarettes and a lighter in my pocket. I've got my wallet is over here. My keys are over here. As always, before I leave the house to go do something, I like to check my online banking. Okay. It's fine. No surprises. I just don't like to see any surprises, you know. And there's my wife. My beautiful wife is here.
Hi, everyone.
I'm going to need her to go out to lunch with the realtor.
Yeah.
And long rest for both of us.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Thanks.
Nice work.
Hey, Carlos Paiva. Hi, Jeremiah Fix.
All right, well, it's time for us to go. So thank you very much. We love you all, and we'll see you after lunch.